It's Words of Music at our Riverside Revival Studios for WMOT Roots Radio. Jessie Scott here with two of the Shootouts.
Yeah.
Ryan, Emily, so great to see you.
Good to see you, too. Thanks for having us.
Welcome back to town.
Yeah,
Thanks.
gosh, we love Nashville so much. We're here quite a bit, and this is our first time getting to see your new space here, and it's always fun to come and see you guys.
This new record has a lot of Nashville peeps on it.
Yeah, we recorded it at Sound Emporium with Dan Knobler producing, and Dan, he's had his hands in a lot of great records like Allison Russell, Lake Street Dive, Rodney Crowell, and we wanted to do something a little different with this record. I kind of feel like if you're not trying to grow and expand with every record, what's the point, right? So we wanted to make a little different record. So we called Dan, and actually his father-in-law Rodney Crowell introduced us to him. And so we called Dan and had a great meeting with him, and we had a blast working with Dan, and he just brought a little something different to the table, So it was fun, and then of course other Nashville guys down here. Just thrilled to be able to say we've got Sam Bush on the record, and Mickey Raphael, and Vince Gill, and Rodney Crowell, and Logan Ledger, and Lindsay Lou. So we've been just very fortunate to get to work with some folks that we love and idolize, and it's good work if you can get it.
Totally. How far is it from Akron to here?
Well, it depends on how many times you stop.
Yeah.
And we try to make it in like 9-ish hours. I think 7.5 by
the clock,
by the internet. But
but now they put a Buc-ee's in just north of Nashville, so that usually
how
eats
long
up some
you
time.
spend there is really the crux. So.
And how much money you spend there, too. We've both been guilty of walking in there being like, we're going to get one thing, and then $75 later. So.
I know the movie.
Yeah.
You've seen that one before.
Ooh, what is this?
Yeah.
I love that so much. Well, Akron is some bit of hotbed of music going on now. You want to talk about the scene?
Yeah, gosh, I kind of attribute it to the fact that I think, are in a very unique geographical location in the sense that, you've got Akron, but within an hour or an hour and a half, you can be in Cleveland, Canton, Youngstown, Pittsburgh's just on the other side of Youngstown. Columbus isn't that far. We've got some pretty big markets all right there. And I don't know if there's something in the water up there or what, but there's so many talented artists that we admire, that we love, great bands that are coming out of there. And of course, there's a long history of that. Going back to Devo and the Pretenders, and of course the Black Keys, and you can even dig into like Tin Huey, and there's some really great acts. The Waitresses came out of Akron as well, Chris Butler. So we're kind of thrilled to be able to kind of go out and carry the torch for Akron. And being a country band, from the Rust Belt is not something that is super common, I think. But
not a lot of us.
Yeah, not a ton of us, but we're trying to carry the torch and remind people that country music can kind of come from anywhere. And what we do is take all these different things that we love, all these different parts of the genres that we enjoy, everything from rock to bluegrass to honky-tonk, western swing, and Americana, singer-songwriter stuff, and just kind of run it through our filters, and we're just trying to keep doing right by that.
I'm going to ask a little bit of a philosophical question.
Sure.
When you have a radio station in your market that is expansive, what difference does that make?
Oh my gosh, for us, it's everything. The support that we've gotten from radio, and especially public radio, we just feel so lucky. We love getting to work with folks like you, and, to open up new markets for us. And like you said, we're a country band, but we dabble in a lot of different things. And so a lot of people will say, like, I don't really like country music, but I like what y'all are doing. And I think a lot of that is because we're tapping into all of the different versions of country music that exist, right? Like, country music isn't one thing. And so to be able to go out to these different radio stations and do kind of what fits their market and work with them has been just awesome. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah, and and to your point, we have a station very similar to WMOT in Akron. Our dear friend Brad Savage and everybody up there at the Summit FM. I've been associated with that station for a long time, and it absolutely makes a huge difference. as far as that goes up there in Ohio, the Summit's the only station that plays local music, the only station that takes chances on independent, up-and-coming artists, exactly like what you guys are doing here. And there's not a ton of those stations anymore. They're few and far between. But man, the relationships that we've formed with folks at radio is really unlike. I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, I will tell you, it's not happening at the commercial stations, and the big corporate stations. It's the folks that really truly care about, diversity in music and bringing that to the airwaves like what you guys do. We are huge advocates.
Is this when we plug that you can be a member and support public radio?
Yes.
We are members of WMOT.
We are members of WMOT.
We are honored and excited to support y'all because you support us so much, and we appreciate it.
Thank you guys are out here doing the Lord's work in the radio world. So
Well, somebody has to.
yeah, somebody's got to keep the flame.
Especially here. I mean, there's so many amazing artists. The folks that you mentioned that are playing on the record, we play them.
Yeah.
And where else would they be heard? It's really...
It's kind of sad, that there's not more of an outlet for real, genuine talent. And it's not to say that the stations that play maybe the more mainstream stuff, that those folks are obviously talented as well, but it's a very different mindset, I think, than kind of the indie and Americana worlds and all that stuff. And we're honestly thrilled to just be a part of it, a small part of it, and we're honored to get to go and hang out with our friends at radio stations.
We play to an audience that is passionate still about music and want to hear new stuff and want to attend shows.
Yeah.
Now, you just did a show.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Sure, we can talk about it. Yeah. So put together a big event for the Summit up there in Akron. It's called every year on March 30th, 330 Day. We do, which is the area code, and we always do a big concert. It was the 8th annual, and I said I really want to do something different and big and fun this year. So had an 11-piece house band, which Emily and I were also part of, and then we had 21 guest singers at a 2,500-seat theater, and it was free with a suggested donation to the Summit Scholarship Program, and it sold out and raised, I think, $10,000 to $15,000 for the scholarship, and had one of the most fun nights on stage we've had in a long time. But the theme was Ohio's greatest hits, so everybody was covering songs by famous Ohioans. So, I mean, you literally had people covering Nine Inch Nails, Doris Day, The Black Keys, Dean Martin, Pure Prairie League, to Walk the Moon. It was a super fun night.
And even with all of that, people were like, well, you missed this artist, you missed that artist, you
Right.
got to do it again. And we're like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to do
part two.
Yeah, Ohio's greatest hits too. So I totally empathize with you guys. Putting together all the big events that you guys do. It is a lot of work, but when you have a room full of passionate music lovers that really are there because of the music, they're not there to for any other reason than because they really enjoy the music that you guys are putting on that stage. It makes it worth it.
It's so great.
Yeah,
It's so fun. And we love it when we get to see all of our friends, too.
Yeah, for
Because,
sure.
for all of us, we're all out playing shows and we hardly get to see each other do our thing. And so to bring everybody together and get to support each other is really super fun.
yeah, it's a
So
lot of
great.
work.
Oh, no doubt.
You guys know. I don't.
We know.
Don't
Well,
need to tell-
you arranged a massage for the day after.
Yeah, I did. I mean, months in advance, I thought I'm going to need a massage after that. So
I'm going to need a week of this.
yeah, seriously, I was exhausted for about a week after that event. I think it was at the theater for 14 hours that day. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what are you going to play for us first? First of all, also, we didn't even mention the name of the album.
Yeah.
So,
Sure. So yeah, we
do
have
that.
new record is called Switchback. It's
which is
out-
such a great title.
Thank you very much. Every one of our albums is named after an instrumental track that was written by Brian Poston, our amazing guitarist and good buddy. And so, again, we wanted to make a slightly different record, and every song on the record feels a little different from anything we've done before, including his instrumental. And we always try to find a cool name that would suit the song as well as maybe be a great album title. And I came up with that one, and I said, I think that's it. And it kind of even, sums up where we're going with this record as well. Like the fact that we've kind of swung a little bit into a different direction, it just seemed to fit. And so Switchback is coming out on Transoceanic Records. They have such great folks over there. And it's been a lot of fun to kind of, tweak our sound a little bit, continue to grow as artists, and so we're excited for folks to hear Switchback. So the first song that we're gonna do actually is our single off the record. We were joined by Lindsay Lou on this song. It's a song I wrote many years ago, and Emily and I sang even before the Shootouts started. And I took it to Brian, and I said, this was always a fan favorite, and you think we could do something with this? And kind of worked up a new arrangement, and it just immediately felt like it should be the single. So this is called Trampoline. Hey, we're the Shootouts, live right here at WMOT. We're playing some songs from our new album, Switchback. We're going to start things off with the first single. This is a track that I wrote a long time ago, and Brian and I kind of put a fresh coat of paint on recently, and it's the first single off the record. We were joined on album by Lindsay Lou, so we're thrilled to have her, and we're going to do a little acoustic version here for you. This is called Trampoline. Batten down the hatches and seal the doors. Cleveland's never treated you this cold before. It's been a long, hard year, yet I find you here. With eyes so paralyzed, waiting for your invitation. When will you come clean from the trouble you've seen and the painful nights on this trampoline? And when will you find time to set things right and land on your feet on this trampoline? Well, everybody's fine tonight, shifting from the left to the right, waiting for the perfect time, yeah, to change your mind. Another month long gone, like the blood they've drawn. But we've got memories more than no time can heal. When will you come clean from the trouble you've seen and the painful nights on this trampoline? And when will you find time to set things right and land on your feet on this trampoline? It looks like I'll be your damage plan, holding your hand through no man's land. You wave the flag and set our sights on long days and even longer nights. When will you come clean from the trouble you've seen and the painful nights on this trampoline? And when will you find time to set things right and land on your feet? And when will you find time to set things right and land on your feet on this trampoline? This trampoline. Another song from our new album is called Other Side of My Life, and it's really the first rock song that the Shootouts have recorded. When I wrote this with a buddy of mine by the name of J.D. Eicher, we kind of envisioned something that would be a little bit more softer, and as the band was working on it, we said, what if we tried it like a Tom Petty song? And it worked out pretty well. So it's kind of the first rock song on a Shootouts album. This is an acoustic version of Other Side of My Life from our new album, Switchback. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd all sought out who we'd become, and I couldn't get where you were coming from. Well, I had a knack for not knowing what I didn't know. You had a knack for letting me go. The seasons change and the edges smooth. I often wonder about you. Well, I had a knack for not knowing how I feel. You had a knack for knowing this wasn't real. Curse the devil, curse did you, curse the things I didn't do. Hit the bottle, kick the wind, change the story so I win. 'Cause blind spots show in time, and I know you have it right. When I look back from the other side of my life, now I'm a stranger, but I'm the same. Broken pieces just rearranged. Now I've been learning a thing or two, and I hope that life's been good to you. Curse the devil, curse did you, curse the things I didn't do. Hit the bottle, kick the wind, change the story so I win. 'Cause blind spots show in time, and I know you have it right. When I look back from the other side of my life. Curse the devil, curse did you, curse the things I didn't do. Hit the bottle, kick the wind, change the story so I win. 'Cause blind spots show in time, and I know you had it right. And I can see it now with time, when I look back from the other side of my life. That song's called The Other Side of My Life, and all the tracks that you heard today are from our new album, Switchback, which is available at our website, shootoutsmusic.com. We want to say thanks to everybody here at WMOT for always taking such good care of us. We love you guys, and we hope to see you all soon. Thanks.
Other Side of My Life. We're here with the Shootouts for Words and Music at WMOT Roots Radio at our Riverside Revival studio. Who did you bring with you?
Yeah,
Brian on stage.
Yep, Brian Poston, our guitarist extraordinaire. Of course, my longtime partner in crime over here, Emily Bates, and my name is Ryan Humbert. And you know, we've been doing this now for 10 years, and so it feels really good to have taken this band that was meant to be a side project when we started it, just meant to just go out and have fun and play country music on our own terms, and we didn't really even care about anything other than just having fun on stage with this. And then we quickly discovered that people enjoyed that. Like when you're having fun on stage, you know, they're more likely to have fun in the audience. And so it's something that we've really strived to do with our shows, is keep them fun and upbeat and energetic. And you know, obviously you've seen Brian play. It's not hard to keep the energy up with, you know, with him. So it's really been special to here we are 10 years in and getting to play with some of our heroes and play the Grand Ole Opry and some of the things that we've been offered to do. And it's pretty mind-blowing, you know. So we're gonna keep working hard.
I want to talk about your dress for stage.
Sure.
You're kind of toned down.
We call this
day
Shootouts
wear.
Light. Yeah, this is Shootouts Light.
Diet shootouts.
Yeah, Shootouts Diet.
But you guys really dude up.
Yeah, you know, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I would have an entire closet in my home dedicated to Western wear, but I do because I have a shopping problem. But we wanted it to be honoring kind of the tradition of country music, and so Ryan always says, you know, you dress for the job that you want, and the job that we want is to be able to, you know, keep playing country music, and so you know. It kind of depends on the show that we're playing and who we're with and what we're doing. But it is always going to be us, you know, putting our best foot forward and presenting ourselves.
Respectful of those that came before, you know. And it's interesting because somebody one time referred to it as a costume. And we said, it's not a costume. It's not a costume. It is our stage wear. You can call it that if you like. But, you know, to us, it's, like she said, you know, you dress for the job you want. And when we... you know, put on the Western wear and some of that stuff, the really embroidered and fringe and sequins and all that stuff, you know, you all of a sudden you stand a little taller, you stand a little different. And I think that comes across on stage too. And it doesn't hurt, honestly. I mean, we've had folks that have paid attention to what we're up to just because they're like, man, look at those guys. And then, you know, hopefully we can back it up. So
and who doesn't like sparkles?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Rhinestones
right.
for
Exactly.
breakfast.
Let's go.
That's Nashville.
that'll be the next album. We're stealing that.
Okay.
Rhinestones for breakfast.
I love that you came down here to make the record. I think that's spiritually a home for you.
Yeah, you know, Nashville has been so good to us over the years. And out of our 4 records, we've made 2 of them here in town. We love working here. We're here probably 4 to 6 times a year. We've made so many good friends like yourself over the years. It really does feel like a second home. We can roll into town and keep busy for the week, you know, or whatever. So
there's also something kind of special about stepping out of our day-to-day life and saying we're going to go and really just focus on making this. And you know, that's for us, it's an honor and a privilege that we get to do that. But being able to say, you know, okay, this is just what we're going to go do for a little while, and not have to worry about mowing the yard and taking care of the house and all the things, you know, just being able to really plug into the music and focus on that for a while. It lets you focus.
Awesome. I mean, our last record, Stampede, which we actually recorded that in Kent, Ohio, college town. They have there's an amazing recording studio there. I mean, world class. It's nicer than a lot of the places I've been here in Nashville. And we recorded there with Ray Benson and Asleep at the Wheel and everything. And that's only about 35 minutes from my house, and yet I got a hotel room across the street from the studio because I didn't want to be taken out of the moment, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I wanted to be able to leave the studio, get some rest, and go right back the next morning and not have to go home and feel like, oh, I forgot to take the trash out, you know. So it's there's something to be said for being able to kind of take yourself out of that normal element. But now Nashville has become, again, kind of like a second home. So there's a very cool element for us down here as well.
And then the opportunities to have folks come in and play. I mean,
Sure.
my goodness, the broadening of that horizon when you're here.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally. And you put some covers on this record.
Yeah.
You want to talk about them?
Yeah, you know, we almost on every record, we pick a couple covers to do. And that's just mostly because my belief is that a good song is a good song. And I'm not precious about the fact that we don't have to be the only songwriters on the record. And so oftentimes we'll pick some songs that we love or just something that maybe we could put our mark on. Or so for this record, we did 2. We did Pure Prairie League's I'll Be Damned, and that's a bit of a deep cut for them. But it was written by Vince Gill when he was in the band. It came out in, I think, 1981. And I can't even remember where I heard it, but I thought, man, this would be a perfect song for us. I knew Brian could have some fun with it on the guitar and some great harmonies. And so we worked it up, and then we were talking with Dan Nobler about it. We said, well, can we ask Vince? And he said, yeah, well, let's ask him. So it didn't quite work out at first. By the time that we were done and ready for Vince, he was out with a little band called the Eagles. And so the timing wasn't going to work out. And then in a twist of fate, we were on the Opry with him about a month later. And Emily walked right up to him and asked him, you know, and he remembered us and knew who we were, and he was very kind. And he said, I'm so sorry that didn't work out, and that the window kind of closed. And she said,
we'd be happy to reopen the window.
Yeah. So then
And we did.
Yeah. And then 3 days later, it was done. So that's one of the covers. And the other cover is I think at like a grocery store, and I heard a song called "Only You" by Yaz or Yazoo, depending on what country you live in. And I thought, man, I think this could be a country song. So I took it to Brian and another gentleman that we work with on some songs, and I told them that, and they agreed. They said, yeah, I think it could be. So we kind of worked up kind of a newgrass style country arrangement. Mickey Raphael plays harp on it, and Sam Bush, mandolin, and Lindsay Liu sang 3-part harmony with us. So I think it's going to be the second single off the record. Mostly, I just think because it's a really great song, but I think that we'll surprise some people with it too. So, it felt like a song that maybe should get a second, a second chance, another chance. So hopefully we can offer that.
Touring happening. Where do you go?
Touring?
Yeah.
Gosh, on our last record, we were in 27 states promoting Stampede. We're just kind of putting the finishing touches. We switched agents, and we're in the middle of putting the finishing touches on the second half of this year. But we're going to be out and about. We're doing some dates with Town Mountain. Just got another offer to head over to DC, and so we'll be out and about. But if people head over to our website, shootoutsmusic.com, all the dates will be there soon. And I know we're coming back to Nashville as well. So
Way cool. It's pretty much every time you come, it seems like you're on the Opry.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much never going to tell them no.
yeah.
So.
I mean, it is the best gig ever. It's there's something to be said for a well-oiled machine. And when you go there, I mean, this right now we're on our 8th time. Nobody's ever panicked. Nobody's freaking out. Nobody's trying. It is such a well-oiled machine, and everybody is so nice. It really, truly is kind of like a family there. You start, getting to know the crew and everybody behind the scenes, and get to see Connie Smith in the hallway, again, and it's really incredible. Again, it's something that was so far off of our radar when we started this band, and now here we are getting to do it regularly. We do not take it for granted. It's an institution we respect and we care about deeply, and we will always do our best to honor that.
So you've been together doing this for 10 years, but this was a side project. So what was the main project?
I was just doing kind of singer-songwriter stuff, and Emily was part of the band as well, and we've been singing together now for over 20 years. And it was supposed to be a side project. So when we started it, she was like, "Oh, great! The boys can go have some fun on some random weekends, and I'll have a weekend off." And so I called her and said, "I think you need to come and try." Like it felt completely different for me. It felt all of a sudden like it was the right fit, and this is what we should be doing. So I called her and asked her to come to a show.
And I think we did the first song, and I looked at him and I said, "I get it." And we never had another conversation about it. We just knew I was in, that's what we were going to do. And it felt so natural for what we were doing. And very quickly, just as he was booking shows, that was what people were asking for too. And so, very rapidly, the balance shifted, and we were in Shootouts land more often than not. And
it was not an intentional shift, but it happened naturally. And we started seeing such a great response. And that's what clued me in that, okay, this is the right thing. It felt right to me, but once we started seeing, a greater response, I thought, okay, I can actually follow my heart with this and take the Shootouts, take everything that I had learned before and put it into this band. And
we both grew up listening to country music and, hearing it all. So it wasn't unnatural or strange for us. It just wasn't where we had been musically ourselves before. So
her and I would occasionally
kind of feels like coming home.
we would even do acoustic duo shows occasionally, and half of those sets at least would be old country songs like George and Tammy or the Everly Brothers, or we would be covering stuff that we loved, or even Gil and Dave. We'd be covering stuff that we loved. That was we've always had one foot in that world, and then finally, you get to an age or a point, you're like, I don't really care. We're just gonna let's do what we love.
Let's
do what we love, right. And that's we didn't. If nobody would have followed us, that'd have been fine too. But luckily, we're still continuing to grow after 10 years. So that's all you can ask for.
Well, I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for being members.
Of course.
It's WMOT.org.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, become a member today.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you
Emily,
so much.
The Shootouts, the new album, Switchback. For Words of Music, Jessie Scott at Riverside Revival for WMOT.